And that's it. Now he's just gonna poop himself right out. Getting stuck there like a magnet for some reason.
I can't believe this flimsy thing is still working.
This
what a
flimsy
relief.
thing.
Looks like you're right. Well then, how about we go check on that drone?
Yeah, the fastest way possible. By almost dying.
Thank you so much for your help. Hello, Adam. It has been some time. Would you kindly introduce me to this lady?
Of course, what's the word? Oh yeah, Angel.
Angel. That's the unofficial name for members of the Eve Airborne Squad.
I'm Eve. What happened to you?
I wonder why Adam does not
Drones
use
like
Eve's
you aren't
normal
supposed to
name
work
that she
this way.
herself identifies with here.
Hello, Eve.
Like even in the first,
I am Digger.
even some of the very first
I have
sentences
innumerable
shared by
thoughts
Adam and Eve
concerning
at
my
the start of the game
existence,
after the
and I'm
prologue
capable
section,
of making
Adam
fantastic
calls
plans.
Eve. And then
told you
he also
this would be
calls
fun.
Eve again
See what I
Eve
mean?
in the
Adam,
flashback sequence
please
when we
don't
find the
interrupt.
first camp.
Eve, someday I would appreciate the opportunity to sit, at length, and share with you my fantabulous hypothesis. I thank you again for your assistance. May our relationship continue to prove constructive. I am willing to provide useful resources.
Okay.
Do you think that's another fake lamp? Another episode in spotting fake lamps in Stellar Blade. I think this one might be real. Yeah, that one looks like it might be real.
You're a particularly unique drone, Digger.
Do you
Also,
mean that
I
in a
swear
good
the
way or a
detail
bad
on
way?
some of
Well,
these
maybe neither.
objects in here
Exactly.
is definitely
happened to
higher
make you
on
like this?
Renault VX than
I don't know.
on
At
native
some
HDR.
The IoT in the network
Everything
suddenly
here is
went
more
offline.
distinct.
And at
Nice.
that moment, the quantum brains limiter was released.
Brains.
Can something like that happen?
Apparently. Anyway, for me, my existence is the greatest question. Typically, I use the time I spend cleaning the environment to consider the question of myself.
People has a store off. Oh, that looks insanely, I mean, cool, of course, but what the hell is up with that? Oh, it's blown out on Vanilla too. What the hell? Okay, never mind. Anyway. Oh, what the hell? Yo, these look insanely nice. This item especially. Very mysterious. Anyway, I just noticed something that differentiates the feeling of longing to know about your own existence from somebody like Digger compared to somebody like a human being. That is very distinct. I may have already mentioned something about this, of course, but I don't remember specifically maybe talking about this part of it. And that is when you have a human being, a child, that has probably parents or just somebody who takes care of them, of course, which would be in English, hohoja, what the fuck would that be? A guardian, of course. You have some kind of guardian, either your parents or some substitute parent or whatever, you know, if in case you're like adopted or you're in an orphanage or something. You always have your own peers, and then you usually have obviously your guardian as well. So you always have like some kind of like supervisor that like kind of like keeps you engaged in the moment, I guess, and in just more normal, like ordinary like questions or just you know, how do I explain this? Like, okay, maybe it's better if I say what Digger's point of view is first, so you get what I mean with what I'm about to say here, or what I try to, you know, drive here, which is that, like, Digger has this question about himself as such a prominent thing because he himself had no like upbringing of any kind. He just one day he just notices that he just happens to be himself, you know? He just somehow notices that he himself is somehow unique, and he starts acknowledging his sense of self all of a sudden, you know? So when you have that happen to you, and you don't have any like peer-to-peer like I guess camaraderie or support or just knowledge or comfort or encouragement from anybody else who is like you, you know, in your environment, you know, you're like as a parallel to real life again, like your real life friends, for example, in school or outside of school, or your own parents or your own guardian otherwise, or, you know, maybe some of your other relatives, or just people that like you can relate to immediately, and they provide you with, you know, comfort and social connections and things to do and things to talk about and to distract you with from like these kinds of like meta questions about your own self or like your own existence or what your purpose in life is supposed to be. You just kind of like live like day by day more so, you know? And Digger is unable to do that because like he did not have this kind of upbringing, so he's like sudden realization of like him noticing his own like existence is such a striking like problem in his mind that he's unable to think of much about anything else, you know? And he has nothing else to distract himself outside of like, you know, cleaning the environment and like, you know, producing like provisions or just materials for, you know, some passerby scavengers that he can sell them to or something, you know, for commerce. You know, he doesn't really have any like social like connections or you know, anything like that to distract himself, like a community that he feels like he belongs to. He can't relate to anybody, you know, while, you know, a real human being would be able to do that, and that distracts you from such kind of like meta or questions that are just way like above your head, you know, while Digger here has nothing but his own comfort to rely on, you know, and he's trying to provide himself ease or his own comfort by just figuring out as to why he is the way that he is, because he's got no like influence or, you know, encouragement or comfort in his own life from anybody else to this point, which is the reason as to why his, you know, forefront of his mind is so confined in this single ideology of just trying to figure out like what his own purpose or his own existence is, you know? Nothing else really matters to him in a deeper level, so I thought that would be interesting to mention how important it is to have some kind of upbringing. That is a very distinct difference between artificial intelligence as well as a human being.
Increase in service satisfaction detected.